Why are they only now getting MRAPs, for example, considering that when they first appeared, they wowed the troops? Marine Reservist Todd Bowers, also with IAVA, served twice in Iraq.
I remember in 2004 seeing a MRAP pull into my camp, and once the drooling stopped and I actually got to look at the vehicle and see how safe it was incredible.
And someone said, why don't we have one of these? And I just gave them the look like, you really think they're going to get rid of the Humvees?
Meaning, Humvees have the contracts, the connections, are the product of least resistance to the bureaucracy. But there's another explanation, counters General Mattis. A current item like the Humvee was widely available. The MRAP was not.
We had a very low industrial base that could produce these. We're talking about 12, maybe 18 a month. We were also having reliability problems because we did not have a long development program for this. As fast as they could build them, we were sending them out.
On the other hand, say Frans Geil and others, this is 40-year-old South African technology. And Force Protection, the U.S. company now making many of the vehicles, told us a large contract would have prompted them to partner with other firms, make lots more MRAPs quickly. Archie Massacati, who works for a rival company, says it took his firm only 2 months to get into production.
2 months from the time that we got the initial order till the time we actually had to deliver test vehicles to Aberdeen. So we can take these through a production environment almost in an assembly line effort and produce these at a high rate.
If DoD had come to you in 2003 and said, we need something like this, would you have been able to have the same turnaround time?
Sure. Sure.
But, says Mattis, industrial capacity wasn't the only problem. IED landmines, for which the MRAP is designed, weren't much of an issue at the start when he was leading troops into Iraq.
Complex firefights were the norm. We were in a heck of a battle for Ramadi, for Fallujah. These names, I'm sure, ring bells for you. Nobody in the infantry wants to be high off the ground when you're in a fight. These vehicles are designed to be high off the ground because with their V-shaped hull, they have to clear the objects on the ground and still be high enough to permit the full use of this V hull that deflects the underbody blast of an IED mine. Today, we do not face the same number of complex firefights, so you can have Marines higher off the ground without creating vulnerability to other weapon systems.
But why, given the known nature of modern insurgency warfare in, say, Afghanistan, didn't we have armored vehicles in the first place? Well, we didn't expect the insurgency, began armoring Humvees once the enemy devised roadside side impact IEDs, says Mattis. Then our armor led to their IED underbelly landmines.
Welcome to my world called war. Every time we do something, they do something. Every time they do something, we do something. It's improvise, improvise, improvise. So what we had going into Iraq were 0 armored Humvees.
To Frans Geil, though, that's both a condemnation of our preparedness and all the more reason for urgent procurement.
Speed is security. We regain the initiative just through our speed, which also has to be creative and also has to produce surprise.
Yet the military procurement system seems mired in bureaucracy, says Geil, resembling a giant corporation, with more and more to lose from change.
Because it causes great instability in large process-oriented systems that seek stability and are risk-averse. What threatens the programs back here sometimes is exactly what is needed to counter the threat over there if it's urgently deployed. And so you come up with, you appear to have a Marine Corps here and a Marine Corps over there.
There's not 2 Marine Corps. There's 1 Marine Corps.
Could be that this is just reasonable people differ, huh?
Reasonable people can differ. I appreciate anybody's impatience. That I will tell you that includes the Commandant of the Marine Corps, who's the most impatient person I've ever seen on this. That includes the sergeants in the field, who give me very candid advice on what they need and how fast they need it. And that certainly includes Deputy Secretary of Defense England, who daily chairs meetings and asks very penetrating questions about this, and he does not tolerate any kind of laziness on this system or any kind of delay on this system whatsoever.
In the end, Mattis says he's convinced his troops have what they need. And Frans Geil, He remains unswerving and unrepentant.
It's a matter of life and death. The harm that's being done due to the slow pace and our inability to react to the realities, to respond to the realities of warfare, is much bigger than me or anyone else.
One last note about the MRAPs. The Pentagon originally announced a goal of 3,500 to be delivered by year's end, then amended that to 3,500 to be produced, claiming a mix-up. In any case, there's no assurance that more than 1,500 MRAPs will make it to Iraq by January 1st.